So you're finally taking the plunge to start your small business, or you've already started that small business. Either way, I'm really happy and proud of you. And in this video, I'm going to share with you guys some of the most important tips that I wish I had known when I first started my business, and hopefully some of you guys take this advice and save yourself the mistakes that I made. If you're new here, hi, my name is Noelle. I am the owner of my small business, Noelle Creates, that I started just a little over 2 years ago. And if you want to see more tips, tricks, hacks, and behind the scenes of small business, make sure to check out my channel because my whole page is dedicated to that. And also make sure to swing by my small business Facebook group. All right, so let's jump into some of my most important tips for starting a business. I'm starting off with this one because I feel like this is like one of the biggest mistakes that everyone makes when they're first starting out. Do not use your current social media and turn it into your business social media. Always create brand new social media pages for every single platform. And on your business social media pages, you guys, please do not use it like a personal account and just watch whatever you want on there. You need to optimize your accounts for your business page. And just to give you an example of what I'm talking about, if you sell candles, you have no business watching football or any other sports on your business pages. This will hurt you because all the different platforms that you're going to be using are going to study your page in order to categorize it. And if you're watching football or any other sport and you're following a bunch of athletes and things like that, what do you think TikTok or Instagram or whatever is going to categorize your page as? Probably as a sports page or a sports fan page and things like that. And not only is your For You page going to be filled with a bunch of sports, but anything that you might post may not reach the right audience because the platform that you're using hasn't properly optimized or categorized your profile. And that brings me to mention you should probably study a little bit of social media if you're going to be using it to market your products. And lastly, all your social media handles should be your business name, and this should be the same on each platform. So think about that when you're picking out a business name. This is one of the most important and crucial tips I have for you guys, so please pay attention. When it comes to picking a logo and designing your branding, do not pick just any random image off of Google or anything like that. You will need an original logo and branding from scratch, and there are things that I did with my first logo that I wish I hadn't, and I'm going to share that with you now so that you don't make the same mistakes I did. So this was my very first logo and branding. I literally took this picture off of Google, slapped my name on it, and called it mine. Not only was this theft, which of course I know now is not right, but this isn't even a good brand representation. There isn't even a clear brand logo, it's literally just a name slapped onto some artwork. This is an extremely intricate design on here with way too many colors. I quickly realized like not even a month into my business that previous logo was not going to work, so I created this one here. As you can see, this one is a lot more simplified, put together, and much more clear. It's technically an SVG format, which basically means that I can take this logo apart by shapes and colors, but I don't know if you can tell, these flowers are still super intricate and detailed. And this is definitely a logo that you can tell was made in Canva, which there's nothing wrong with that, especially if you're just starting out, but it is not as professional as it could be. This is my current logo that I use today, and as you can tell, it is so much more professional and put together. The branding colors are no more than 3, it's not complex or too overdone, everything is put together and cohesive. Believe me, less is more when it comes to designing your logo and your branding. It's a lot easier for customers and people to recognize your branding if it's more simplified. Here are some examples of some do and do not logos. Do create logos that are 1 to 3 colors with shapes and text that are profound and easily separated, and preferably SVG style. Do not use a logo that is more than 3 colors that is very intricate or detailed with many layers or combined shapes. And if you need some help coming up with the logo, head over to one of my favorite tools, design.com. This is such an amazing tool for creating a logo, and I'm going to show you how to do it. So you're going to want to enter your business name, and if you don't have one yet, hang tight because I'm going to show you how to create that as well. Then click on Create Logos. It'll prompt up a text bar where you can put in some keywords for your business. It'll then generate a bunch of logos based on those keywords. And on the left-hand side, you'll also be able to choose a logo style and your colors. You can also go back and change those keywords at any point if you'd like. Once you find a logo that you love, you can click on it to edit it further. Fun fact, the exact logo that you're seeing here is where I got some of the inspiration for my logo that I use today. To edit this further, there's a whole list of different texts that you can choose from, and you can resize and reposition things to your liking, as well as editing the colors even further. And once you have your completed logo, you can go ahead and download it. Design.com also has so many other helpful tools, which leads me to my next important tip on how to pick a business name. So first and foremost, if you need help choosing a name, here's how you're going to do it. You're going to click on the AI tab on design.com and click on AI Business Name Generator. Next, you're going to type in some keywords to describe your business. Once you hit generate, it's going to prompt you with so many different business names based on your keywords. You can also go back and change the description anytime you want, and it'll also prompt you with some logos down below. You can even change the length depending if you want a short, medium, or long business name, and there's also some different styles that you can choose from. While this is a tip, it's also a suggestion because this is something that I really regret when it comes to my business name. So I personally don't recommend adding your name to your business name. I also recommend choosing something that is unique and steering away from all the traditional names, like for example, Noelle Creates. Everyone just adds their name and then adds Creates to the end. It's not really unique, it's overdone. Everyone does it. And also, for example, all the Noelle & Co. or Noelle & Company, Shop Noelle, Noelle Shop, things like that. If there's one thing I really regret when I started my business, it's not taking my time and picking a business name and just picking whatever because I was desperate to get started. And that's not to say that you can't change your business name or your logo ever again. It's very hard, especially once you already grow a following and a customer base. So my advice to you is to take your time and choose wisely. So make sure to head over to design.com to get started. Plus, they're offering up to 88% off their main logo design package, and I've linked that in the description for you guys. Moving on to my next 3 tips, and these kind of go together, they fall hand in hand. So it's going to be focus on one thing at a time and don't go too crazy and add a bunch of stuff. Don't offer too much variety and don't overstock. Now, this mainly is for those who are going to be selling physical products and making them / storing them themselves, but this also does apply to others to focus on one thing at a time. So to tie in my own personal experience, I went a little too crazy when I first started. I got way too excited and offered so many different products. This definitely made it hard to find my target audience versus offering just 1 or 2 products and finding community in that. In addition to offering too many products, I also overstocked my shelves by a lot. I was in the first couple weeks of my business. I had no reason to be stocking my shelves with so much inventory. This came back to bite me later on because I could not get rid of it for over a year. When you're first starting out, you don't know what your customers like, so there's no point in ordering a bunch of designs for t-shirts if you don't know what's going to perform well or not. And trust me, I know the excitement takes order, but you have to be smart and think logically. My returning subscribers might be a little shocked to hear me this blunt, but I really have to be upfront with you guys and tell you to shut your mouths. Yes, you heard that right. Stop talking about everything that you're going to do. Stop telling people your plans. This is for many different reasons, but most importantly, you're consulting with people that don't know what they're talking about. How are you going to ask someone or consult someone for business advice when they don't have a business or know anything about running a business? And just to give you an example, maybe you have a cousin or a friend who's a barista. What would they know about starting a t-shirt business? Why would you go to them for advice? On the contrary, they might try to shut your idea down and tell you that it's too risky or that it's a dumb idea or maybe you're not cut out for it. This is exactly why I tell you, do not tell your plans to anyone. That's one thing, but don't go around telling people to follow you or follow your business or support your business. Don't do that. Be careful who you confide in and trust because you never know someone's true intentions. As a matter of fact, you're going to be so shocked to find out that the people closest to you or in your family are your biggest haters. And it just so happens that the strangers on the internet will be your biggest supporters. I know you're excited about starting a business and you want to shout it to the world, but please trust me when I say keep quiet and work in silence. And if there's one thing I've learned so far, it's to never talk about something before it actually happens because there will be some evil people out there trying to sabotage your plans. Moving on to the next tip, since we're on the topic of consulting people, please do not waste your time trying to ask people for help. Go search for the answers yourself. Okay, now this one's a little personal. I get real boiled up on this topic as someone who gets hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of questions every single day. Speaking of which, my whole channel is literally dedicated to answering all these questions and sharing anything small business related. But I digress. Back to what I was saying. I don't know how to put this without sounding rude, but it's just the truth, you guys. Like, I'm not trying to insult anyone, but some of you are very entitled. And this is something that you have to overcome before starting a business because you're going to want all the answers and no one is entitled to give them to you. No one owes you anything. And this is coming from the heart, you guys. This is a tough love situation. I'm not trying to be a jerk or, insult you or anything like that. You're just simply lazy and you want everything handed to you. And I'm telling you this now because you're going to have a really hard time figuring it out if you expect people to give you answers. You need to go out there and hunt for them yourself. You have to be willing to do the research and learn and put in the work. No one is going to hold your hand through this process. You're going to make mistakes and you're going to learn through trial and error. Just because I share what I share doesn't mean others have to too. I choose to share what I share because I love helping my community. I've been doing it since the start of my business, but if I didn't want to do it anymore, that is completely okay. Time is money, you guys. The people who have already figured it out are probably not going to waste their time explaining it to you. So instead of sitting around waiting for answers from someone, you can be using that time to your advantage and search for the answers yourself. And just to put it in perspective for you, under every single one of my packing videos, at least one person asks what size box I'm using. In the same amount of time it took them to type in that question, they could have already been searching for my Amazon storefront, which has all the supplies I use for my business, including my boxes. Or they could just literally measure their product and find a box that best suits it, but instead they're waiting around for answers. So use your time wisely because it's gonna cost you. This is a tip for the social media and content creation aspect of your business, and it is just to have a physical watermark in your videos. I can't stress how important this is. It may not seem like a big deal, but when you're first starting out, you don't expect to blow up. You don't expect to get big and have a bunch of followers. But if you stay consistent, that very much will happen one day. And as you grow in popularity, people are going to be stealing your videos. I've had countless videos stolen and used to scam people because I didn't have a physical watermark in those videos. Of course, this could still happen with a physical watermark, but it's a lot less likely to, and here's why. Without a physical watermark, especially if you're not the face of your brand, it's hard to identify where that video is coming from. But at least if you have a physical watermark in there, people can still look up your page and know where the original creator is coming from. And this can help prevent so many scams, especially if the person is pretending to be someone that they're not. And it'll also definitely help protect you and your brand. Alright, you guys, so those were my most important tips for starting a business. These are things that I think about often and I wish I could go back and change. So I really hope some of you found this helpful and hopefully it can prevent you guys from making some of the mistakes that I made. If you're just starting your business or you're already a business owner, I really recommend joining my small business Facebook group. It's a really nice community of like-minded entrepreneurs and inspiring entrepreneurs, and we just share advice, tips, tricks, things like that. So check it out if you'd like. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on your post notifications so you never miss a video, and don't forget to check out my TikTok and Instagram for more content, and I'll see you in the next one.